Hurry in to Old Navy. One day only, tomorrow. All jeans are 50% off. That's right, get 50% off all jeans for the family, even your favorite rock star styles. But hurry, it's tomorrow only at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Valid 2/16, excludes in-store clearance.
Blog Talk Radio.
Alternative facts.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. At 12:07 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, numerous unidentified objects of unknown intent and unknown origin were detected at high altitudes over multiple locations of Earth's outer space by the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, and these objects are presumed to be some form of controlled aircraft. It is not known if more of these aircraft will arrive, or if they will attempt entering Earth's atmosphere. United States citizens are encouraged to monitor local media outlets, as more updates will follow as information becomes available. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. Attacks by the undead have been reported in several states across the country. The dead are rising from their graves and are attacking the human race. At this time, it is expected that more attacks of this nature will occur in several other states in the next few hours. The intent behind their attack is unknown at this time. He has been observed that a bike or exchange of fluids is a method of transmission. This is an extremely dangerous situation if they crave the taste of human flesh. It is not known whether this event will last for hours, days, or even longer. Stay calm, as authorities have been dispatched to deal with these creatures. An all-clear siren will be sounded when this situation is under control. Pacific Standard Time, nor is detected a long-range nuclear missile launching. This missile is believed to be headed in the direction of all residents within a 400-mile radius of this area should seek a fallout shelter immediately.
Welcome to Within the Chaos with your host, Rodney the Viking Shortridge, co-host, Melinda the Raven Jackson. Want to give a big old shout out to the Facebook paranormal groups that allow us to post our shows on their pages and helping us to get the word out about all of our guests. Also, a shout out to the Connor sisters. Hats off to Misty and Ashley. They are the founders of SOS Sisters of Salem Paranormal Research Society and host of their podcast, Paranormal Party. You can find them on Facebook under Paranormal Party. If anyone would like to speak to Black Diamond Paranormal Society, BDPS, to discuss your paranormal questions or issues, go to our website at blackdiamondps.org or email blackdiamondps@yahoo.com. As always, our services are free.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. You can listen in by calling 516-387-1922, or you can go to the Vibe Radio Network website at blogtalkradio.com/Vibe Radio Network. For deep within the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you for listening to Within the Chaos. My name is Rodney Shortridge, and I'll be your host tonight, along with my beautiful raven, Melinda Jackson. First off, I'd like to give a shout-out to my cousins up in Ohio, Jennifer and Joe Shortridge of 222 Paranormal. If you get a chance, check out their talk show. You can find them on Facebook under 222 Paranormal.
Have your devices just randomly stopped working? Are you having IT trouble? Not to worry, Mead's PC Repair Shop can help. We also offer IT support too, and now also offering full event management services. To find out more, contact our friendly customer service team who will gladly help in any situation. Just call 276-880-8900, or if you prefer, you can stop by our shop at 1089 St. Clair Street, Oakwood, Virginia, 24631 by appointment only, or by visiting the website at meadspcshop.com for more information. Thank you.
Well, tonight has got love in the air. It's Valentine's Day, so everybody grab your loved ones, squeeze them real tight, and listen in, because tonight our two special guests are two of our amazing friends, the beautiful Tina Williamson and the handsome Paul Dixon. Tina is a paranormal investigator. She works all levels of law enforcement. Her main focus is cold cases, missing persons, and homicide, with her specialty being, help me with this word.
Psychometry.
Is it psycho what?
Psychometry.
Okay, whatever. I'll go with whatever she says. You remember, I'm from Southwest Virginia. We can't read, write, or we don't wear shoes either. And she also does natural remote viewing. Paul is a paranormal investigator, tech specialist, and founder of both BCPI and Paranormal 66. So again, happy Valentine's Day to you.
Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Well, thank you. Do you have a special Valentine that sent you, their heart and love and roses and candy and all that shit?
No.
No, me either. Damn, we both suck. Well, maybe Tina and Paul, since they're lovebirds, maybe they can come on and talk about the love that they're sharing tonight. So, without any further ado, let's get them on. It's my honor to welcome our special guest, Tina Williamson, along with Paul Dixon. Hello, guys, and thank y'all for joining us tonight. It's such an honor to have you all both on the show. And happy Valentine's Day to both of you all.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you
How
for
are
having
you?
us on.
Thank you.
Wow.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Melinda.
Hello.
I hate to take time out of y'all's Valentine's love thing going on, to be on the show, but I do appreciate it.
Yeah, we had sandwiches at home.
Well, there you go, the American way. Damn.
That's right.
Well, let's get this show on the road then. Look, if you don't mind, can each one of you all tell the audience a little bit about yourselves and what got y'all into the paranormal world?
I'll let Paul go first.
Well, my story starts off, the paranormal was always in my family. I started when I was at the age of 16. My aunt started the first paranormal group back in the late 50s in my area. I was always fascinated with the paranormal since I was little. I always wanted to go out with my aunt and her group, but they told me I was too young. So when I hit about 16, my aunt said it was time. So she took me out. We investigated homes, cemeteries, pool halls, anywhere that I can get to at a young age. And after a couple of years, I decided to freelance. And then a couple of years after that, I decided to start my own groups. I ran I founded BCPI for 10 years and Paranormal 66. I ran that group for 6 years. And then I worked with a couple of groups after I folded both of my groups. And I just started a brand new paranormal group called The Strange and Mysterious. And that's where I'm at today.
Okay.
Oh. I've been doing what I do. Well, I was a nurse. Most people that follow me know that my background is in nursing and criminal justice. I've been working with law enforcement since around 1990. I work with all levels. Mostly I stay away from the local level unless I absolutely have to. I usually do most of my work's with state, and I do some federal cases, different levels of federal. Talk about some of the cases I do. I have recovered numerous bodies. I would say probably no more than 20. But I recovered my first live child, which is a rarity, last year. So I'm very proud of that. And I continue to go to educate myself in the law field, and that's what we do. We go out and we do what we do, and continue to educate people in our field. And, you know what we do. We go out and do what we love doing.
Yeah. Well, how did you two connect with each other? How did you two? I don't mean it sexual either. I mean, I know how that works, but I'm talking about how you meet up and start doing your paranormal thing together.
It's fun. It's a funny story. I was on Facebook trolling a site, and I was talking to someone that I went to high school with, and he was talking about this. Was he talking about a house?
He was talking about a private residence. The gentleman, John, was my lead investigator at the time. And at the time, I didn't know that he grew up with Tina. And usually on my BCPI page, I always told my group, if you guys are going to socialize, do it on your own pages, not on BCPI. Well, the one night he forgot he was on the BCPI page, and I'm sitting there late at night posting some of the stuff that we recently investigated, and I noticed there was this conversation going on, and it was between him and Tina, and she was interested in the last house that we investigated, and she told him, she goes, I would really like to get into that house. So what I did was I brought it right in. I said, I can get you in there. And off on the side, she sent him a private note asking who in the bleep I was. And then he goes, oh, crap, I'm on the BCPI page. That's the founder. But what she didn't know was that home that we just investigated was my parents, was their home. And so we set up a date, and she come driving past the house. I'm like, who is that? I thought she was the sexiest thing I've ever seen.
Gosh.
And she turned around, and then she pulled in the driveway. I went out and introduced myself. And the rest is history.
I hated him I didn't like him for real. Like, he pursued me. I didn't like him.
I sure did.
Isn't that the way all love stories go?
I'm telling you, she hated my guts, and it just so happened that I gave my group, a lot of them had their vacations. It was in the summertime, and I had a lot of walkthroughs to do, and I asked her if she would be willing to work with me all summer, and I guess I've grown immune to her. Because here we are 7 years later.
No, I grew immune to you.
Okay. Anyway, here we are 7 years, and I love her deeply.
Yeah, I tolerate him.
Wow, that's a paranormal.
And here we are. It is.
It's sure
Paranormal love, baby. Paranormal love. Oh my God. What's the tingling going on right now? Oh my God.
Yeah, something like that.
She's 70. Yeah, whatever, big guy. Okay, Melinda, you have a question?
Yes, my first question.
Okay.
Have either of you had any unexplained or paranormal experiences that's left a significant mark on your life? And if so, can you describe those?
You have, when you had boots running at you, the sound of the boots running at you.
When we did what was the question? I'm sorry. You were breaking up?
Has anything ever significant left a mark on your life?
Yes. We were doing an investigation at a VFW in Florence, I believe. Was it in Florence? It's Florence, right? In Roebling. And me and one of my investigators, we were down in the basement taking pictures and doing EVP work. And it was pitch dark. Couldn't see anything in front of me. Anywhere in front of me. All of a sudden, coming down the hall at me was a pair of work boots. And they were heavy. And I'm just like snapping pictures, didn't see anything. All of a sudden, it stopped in front of me. Well, I'm probably going to embarrass myself when I say this, but it's a lesson learned. It stopped in front of me. Instead of snapping a picture, I looked down. I'm like, "Where's the feet?" I didn't see no feet. I didn't see anything. Then it took another step. Well, next thing you know, I'm hearing my investigator running up the steps. Now, mind you, my investigator is like, at the time, he was 6'4" and about maybe 300 pounds. And here I am. I'm 5'6", 150 pounds, 160 pounds, somewhere around there. And next, you know, I bypassed him up the steps.
You almost knocked him over.
I almost knocked him over. That literally scared the shit out of me. And he screamed, Paul, because he's holding on to the railing. I almost knocked him down the steps. And I mean, everybody's making fun of me, but you know, when you're investigating, when you hear things like coming from the sides or the back, it's totally different than when it's walking up straight up to you. It's a whole different feeling. But you know what? I learned from that. That was one of my most embarrassing.
Well, it's not embarrassing. It's a learning.
Right.
You learn, and I think my most memorable, besides, I'm not talking about a crime scene. I'm talking about straight up paranormal, like working with a team, and it had to be last year, probably about 12 months ago, where we at White Hill. We were doing a filming at White Hill, and we had been there like 2 months prior, and we were in the attic, and we didn't have a problem in the attic. Then we go back to probably about 2 months later, and it was totally a shift in the energy. I mean, it was really not nice. I had turned my back that quick. We were with the REIT team at that time. I turned my back. Chris is behind me. I said something to Chris about the shift. I said, "Do you feel that?" She says, "Yeah." And with that, the door moves like real quick, and she caught it on film. And so they had the film of it, and it was. You know, you get used to working around stuff like that, but for it to happen, and it to happen really quick, and your back's to it, and it takes you off guard. You can be doing this for years, but there's always that one time that it takes you off guard. And I mean, you guys know, because you investigate it, that's when it always gets you when your guard's down. And
sure does.
Yeah, it's not fun. And that was probably, I learned that you always have to like extra shield yourself when you know that you could be putting yourself in a really bad spot.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was mine.
That's awesome.
So, when did you see your first ghost?
Me?
Uh-huh.
I knew that I was different. God, I guess I was 4 or 5. So I would have to say 4 or 5. I knew that I was different than the other kids I went to school with. So yeah, that's when I knew I was different. As far as I knew up until recently, I was the only one in my family that had something. Now, in the last year and a half, talking to my cousins and stuff, some of them have empathic traits and just never said anything or didn't realize what they had. But they don't have what I have. So it's interesting that like at the age of 50, everybody's starting to say, oh, well, I have this. And I'm like, oh, okay. But, I'm out there now, so everybody's starting to talk about it. I'm sure because you sat on the panel with me, so, like, we're starting to be more mainstream, where before everything was hush-hush.
Oh, yeah.
You don't talk about it. You didn't talk about it because people thought we were freaks.
Right.
And now it's like everybody wants to be somebody, and it's like, but I've one cousin, she was like, I've always felt something, or I walk into a room and I pick up the vibe of something. So, and I was like, oh, you're empathic. Like, when did you notice this? And she's like, oh yeah, since I was like in high school. And I'm like, oh, well, we're 50 now, like you're just saying something. So Paul can answer for him. He learned quite a lot recently about his stuff.
While growing up, I've seen things move. I've heard things, but I didn't actually see my first ghost until I was about maybe 24. My first body apparition through our local national cemetery, and I saw a gentleman approaching me. And as he got closer, I realized he was dressed like, do you remember how the 1940s, like, sailormen used to dress? With the tight white shirts tucked in real tight, and they had, like, the tight pants, and they flared at the knees, like the old bell bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
He had the sailor's hat, the black shoes, the whole works. And I walked past him. I said, hello. He just nodded his head. We walked past each other, maybe about 20 steps, 25 steps later. I turned on the side to, like, see which direction he was going, and he wasn't there. I got him. I was right by my car. Got in my car. I drove around. Didn't see nobody. So that was the first time. I was about 24 when I first saw my first apparition.
Okay.
Well, with EVPs and stuff, I'm sure that you all get a lot of those. Do you have any EVPs that you've actually had that you communicated with, had a conversation with, and what were they saying to you?
Oh, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
We still even have stuff that we don't have even listened to.
Yeah, we have hundreds of EVPs, and now with the apps that we can utilize to do the EVPs, I use Dave Miller's app. I only use Dave Miller's apps actually. Yeah. And using the recorder, the apps, it's incredible because you can ask a direct question, and if you have an intelligent haunt, it's crazy what you get come back. Indigo's probably my favorite. I personally, Melinda, you can speak for yourself, but we each attract different things. I attract kids and animals mostly. So indigo works really good for me. It used to be the REPAP, and then it's been totally revitalized, and it's called Indigo now. It's a crazy app, and the kids come through and they really want to chat with you. So I love Dave Miller's stuff. Mm-hmm. So you get all kinds of stuff when they want to talk to you. I don't know what your team uses, but I mean, I just think that enhances the EVPs. We get EVPs all the time. Some of them you can use. Some of them, if they're not clear, they're not. We just don't use them, especially if we have to turn them over to certain people, like to a company, or when I'm working a case and I can't use them. You can't use them. They're not clear enough. I mean, each group works different, but yeah, we have them. Sometimes we put them up on like our Instagram. We have tried to put them up on Instagram. Instagram's funny with allowing you only, so what's it, 3 minutes? 3 minutes.
No, actually, no. I think.
Is it 3 minutes or?
What's it, a minute?
Or a minute or so? You have to cut it down so long. So we've tried to put some up. We just put up a YouTube, so you'll see more clips of EVPs and stuff. In the next probably month or so.
Okay. Well, we got a caller. It's someone that y'all know. And she wants to ask a question. To click her over. Robin, you're on. Go ahead and ask the question.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Hey, Robin.
No, I wanted to say hi to y'all. But I had a question for Tina. I was watching a show the other day, and that everyone that has special abilities always talk about helping spirits cross over. When a spirit is helped to cross over, where do you think they are actually going to? Where are they crossing over to?
I would like to believe that they cross over to heaven. I can honestly say, you follow my pages.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah. I would believe that they go to heaven. I've never, ever, ever met energy that's been anywhere else but there. I'm not saying that the other place doesn't exist.
Right.
So, yeah. A lot of times, though, depending on how long they've been hanging out, it depends on where they say they're crossing them from. This is just my opinion. I'll make it as quick as I can. If it's energy that has been just in like what we call purgatory, that's like just waiting to cross over, it usually goes to heaven. Or whatever you want to call their higher being, space, to God, or whatever you call whatever your higher power is. If it's something that's been hanging out and is a residual, a lot of times they don't go anywhere because they get comfortable. So I don't know. It depends on who the psychic is, and not just anybody can cross. They won't just cross for anybody. Sometimes you need to have a medium and a psychic, or two mediums, or a medium and a shaman. So I hate not being able to answer that question the right way.
You did.
But
right.
I think I did.
You did.
I think I did.
You did. You answered it very well.
Okay.
Thank you guys very much, and I cannot wait to see you guys in November. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. I think it's your turn.
It's my turn.
Okay.
How many investigations have you guys participated in within the year?
Oh my God. Within the
How many investigations we did within a year?
within a year.
Wow. This past year?
This past year was a lot.
But no, I think within the years you all been investigating altogether.
Oh, all together?
Yeah.
Within the years that we have been investigating?
Yeah,
Or
within the years.
a year?
No, years with the S.
Oh my God.
Me, I'd say over 500.
Over 500 cases, easy.
Wow.
30 years, so
I started when I was 16, and I'm now 52. So I'd say over 500 cases easily.
yeah. I mean, if I add up my paranormal cases and my other cases, easy, probably 500 cases.
Wow.
I
been busy with that 30 years.
I mean, I'm speaking for myself. And this is where people get mad at me, and this is, and I really don't care. So, I keep law books in my office because I have to. That's where I'm talking to you from, and I keep files on every single case we do. Even when we're working with another team, I will keep a file so that I have proof of what work I've done.
We got files everywhere.
So, I mean, I would say probably 500, probably close to 500 cases.
Wow, y'all been busy.
Yeah.
But Tina, this is for you. If you can discuss, I know you touched on a little bit where you work cold cases and missing persons and homicide cases. What kind of details of your work and the process that you go through with your work that you can discuss with us?
I have credentials. I am tested on a regular basis. I can tell you how. I'm officially a psychic detective. I have the detective thing. So most people don't know that about me. So, and I don't put that out there on my page. I don't feel like I need to answer to anybody. I also carry a bunch of certificates in shooting that I keep under my belt, and I go and take classes every month. I take some classes every month. Then when I go to a site, I can walk you through quickly, like what happens when I go to a site. A lot of times I'll work with an officer that has worked with a medium. A lot of times you go and you work with an officer that's never worked with a medium. If you work with an officer that's never worked with a medium, it's a horrible thing because usually they're screaming at you because they have absolutely no clue about anything. So what I do is I go onto this site and I have a list of rules. Like they're not allowed to touch me. The family of the victim isn't allowed to be there. Because you need it to be as emotion-free as you can because it's very high emotion situation. I do not, because I get asked this all the time, I do not ever, no matter where the case is, get paid for what I do. Not for my travel, not for anything. I get asked that all the time. because I understand people get paid for that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's the wrong thing. I just don't. That's my choice. But once they understand that the family cannot be there, I asked that also that the news doesn't know that I'm coming out because that makes it a circus. I'll ask for a piece of clothing or something that the victim carried for at least 24 hours so that I can get a read. The psychometry, that's like the psychometry. And then I basically will start at the last place that they knew where the victim was. If they're missing, if it's a homicide, I'll go right to where they found the body. And then I just do my thing, and that's how I work the case.
There's times where we drive for hours.
Yeah, Paul just said there's times we'll drive for hours. So and that's just how it works. It's that easy. I mean, sometimes you can do a case quickly. We just had a case very close to me. I don't want to say how close because it was in the news. I got a picture at 6 o'clock at night. I sent an answer back saying where they would find the body, where to look. And 7 hours later, they charged the mom with 7 counts related to the death of the child. So, I mean, that quick. Sometimes it happens that quick. Sometimes it takes weeks. So, I mean, that's how it works.
It's not a beautiful job. It's not.
I don't think
people.
Sounds like it'd be a very tough job.
Yeah, it is. It takes a piece of you every single time. So, I get very frustrated when I hear people say that they're a psychic medium or, they're like, this is what I do and I'm well known. And it's I'm not internationally known. I'm not. I'm sure if you go to Europe, nobody knows who I am. But you know what? I don't need to be internationally known because, I know what I do and I put my head down at night and I go to sleep every night being okay with that.
Well, you know something, Rodney? A lot of these mediums, all that, or a lot of, the followers think that type of life is glorious. I'm going to tell you, it takes every case that Tina works on. I see it because I see it personally. I see it at home where nobody else sees it. It takes a lot out of her. Every case that she works, it takes a lot out of her. I mean, there are times where she cries. There's times where she
don't tell them.
But I'm telling them you cry. But the people just don't see what it does to her. And I was fortunate enough to go on some of the cases with her, and it's not as glamorous as people think it is.
No.
I mean, with her finding that little. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rodney.
What I was going to say is I commend you, Tina, for what you do. I have a friend of mine that used to work these cyber sex cases with kids and stuff, and he had to go every 6 months to see a psychiatrist to make sure he was still able to do the job. Yep. And you people that do that type of work, nothing but respect, and thank you all for the job y'all do. And because I have so much empathy when it comes to kids and people that are hurting and sad. I couldn't do the job. I'd walk in, if I found somebody, I'd just shoot them in the head. That's the reason why I couldn't do the job you all do.
Ronnie, I can honestly say, I've come home from work, my daytime job, and she's got files in front of her. And she's working this case. There's times where she's working 4, 5, 6 cases at a time. And I look at her, I see what it does to her. I am so proud of her for what she does and how she brings closure to these families. I am so proud of her. That's one of the many reasons why I love her. Mm-hmm. She brings closure to families that really need that closure.
And see the terrible side of humanity and still be able to have a smile on your face and try to enjoy life is amazing.
Right. Right. And then the one case where she found the missing girl alive, I think that was the first time you found a missing child alive.
It probably will never happen in my lifetime again.
And you cried over that one.
Thank you for saying that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I don't cry.
Yes, she does.
She's tough. Well, I know I'm going to tear this word up, but what is psychometry? Am I saying it right?
Psychometry.
Yeah, sorry. And also
okay.
natural remote viewing, and how do you use it in your law enforcement career, and also what got you into law enforcement? I know it's a loaded question.
It's really easy to answer. Psychometry is holding an object that belonged to a person that has their energy on it. And so like I was saying, like I'll request something that the person had on them that has their energy, and I'll hold it onto it, and I pick up their energy. I can read their like usually I'll ask for a hairbrush or a lighter or a set of keys, something like that. I've gotten stuff as crazy as a shoe. So whatever they give you. So that's psychometry. Remote viewing. There's controlled remote viewing, and then there's natural remote viewing. Controlled is when you learn how to do remote viewing to benefit yourself. Natural remote viewing, I can sit down and look at a map of something and tell you. When I do missing person cases, it's easier to explain this way. If somebody calls and says they're missing from Pennsylvania, and the last place they saw them was, I'll just say Philadelphia. I'll just take Philadelphia, I'll blow it up, and I'll just start looking, and I'll look at the picture of the victim or the missing person. I'll say the missing person. And I'll look at that. I'll keep looking at that and just communicate with them, and then go to the map, and that's how I'll remote view, and I'll start getting names or numbers. If the street's a number, that's how I found the child. I was 2,500 miles away from the missing child when I helped locate them. And then you asked me something else. Sorry, it was a 3-part question.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to load it up. But what got you into the law enforcement?
I had a friend that worked at the prosecutor's office, and I was working with him. I worked with one person. I was only working with one person, and then, like, the word Melinda will tell you, if you're good at what you do, they will tell their friends. And that's kind of how it happened. Yeah. And
okay.
then what happened was I kind of got recruited by another organization, and then it just kind of went from there.
Okay, cool.
And I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay, this question's for Paul. What are your techniques, such as when you're working on an investigation? Do you go into it with a scientific approach, religious, metaphysical, or spiritual base?
Before each investigation, I do ground myself.
Are you there?
You're spiritual.
I'm spiritual. You're more, spiritual. Yeah. Because I was trying to figure out how to word this.
Okay.
I'm more spiritual. I'm more spiritual than I am anything else. to be honest with you.
It's hard. It's hard to put I think he's more spiritual.
Yeah.
He can put a title on that, but he comes from a religious background.
Melinda, I think you actually. Melinda, I think you actually.
There's a lot of people don't want to put a title on it, but we pray. People see us ground and stuff, and then they're like, "What are they doing?" But they know like that I'm the prayer, so they're like, "Oh wait, what's happening over there?" But yeah, we come from a religious.
Very religious.
Yeah.
I hold my cross and pray and do what I got to do before I go in. I think that was the first time I actually got tongue.
But you know what? We like the measurements and stuff. Like, we like our instruments, though. Yep. I like old school in it, but he's an instrument person.
Yeah, I like my SOS, and I like my apps by Dave Miller, and I like my animal millimeters from Bob Christopher, but I love old school. I always go back to old school.
What is your favorite piece of equipment to use?
My favorite, believe it or not, I love doing EVPs. I love doing EVPs. And that's being honest. I love doing my EVPs.
Okay. Have you been physically, emotionally, or spiritually attacked?
Have I?
Mm-hmm. Or either of you?
Well, I have. Yes, I've had. That's all I would really like to say about that, if you don't mind.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I'm sure with all the cases that y'all have done, what is your opinion on what a demon is, and have you all ever encountered a demon, and can you talk about that experience?
Well, to be honest with you, out of all the investigations that we've done, we've never really run into anything that was what you would call demonic. I mean, I'm not saying it's not out there. The percentage is extremely low. I'd say maybe about 3%.
We ran into two places that were extremely dark. Paul had an attachment that we had to deal with. That was one of the reasons that we had to
back out of
that we took a break from life and had to regroup. But we investigated two places that were extremely dark. I made my statement on Facebook very clearly that we needed to take a break to get our stuff together because we had to take care of what we needed to take care of. It was 7 months. So it was 7 months of hell.
Pure hell.
So when people say that the dark doesn't exist, the dark does exist.
It does exist. I had 7 months of pure hell. I hope to never to go through what I went through, and I had wonderful people to help me get through what I had to get through. There were days that I don't remember that. There are days that I do remember, days I don't remember. I had a lot of dark days. These two places that I went to, I think I picked the one up, and it didn't help that I went from one day a place to the other.
You still can't talk about it.
I mean, it's still hard for me to talk about. I mean, I went through it, and I had I just the people that helped me get through it. I mean, I'll always be grateful to them. And it was a nightmare. So it is rare for demons, 3%, like I said, but they do exist. Trust me. It's been a couple months since I've had the attachment gone, but it left it did a toll on me. I think I would like to talk about it down in the future. Like, I'd like to start doing lectures on that, but right now it's still kind of really hard to talk about because it was really ugly. And I don't ever wish anybody to go through that, but I'm just now starting to talk about it. And so.
Okay, that's fine. I understand, but I mean, there's no pressure. That's one thing about my show. It ain't one of those I got you and try to make someone do or say something they don't want. Hey, I'm cool with it. I understand. I've had other people I know that had problems or attachments and stuff, and it took them a while to be able to even talk about it. So, hey, we're all good, bro.
I mean, I've done stuff that I didn't even know that I've done at people. I didn't find a lot of stuff out till after what was wrong with me taken care of. But I think down the road I'm going to talk more about it to the public. But right now it's still a little.
We do need to publicly thank Marcia, Marty, and Chris, and from New Jersey, and we do need to thank Keith and Sandra Johnson
and his wife.
Because if Keith didn't step in, we would have had a major problem.
I mean, it was ugly, but when
ugly.
Keith Johnson stepped in, it was serious.
So we need to do our thank yous. So, because he basically saved Paul's life.
Yes, he did.
And our some of our friends that are still around, and everybody supported us when we had to make decisions that we had to make, that understood why we had to make those decisions.
A lot of the decisions you had to make without me because I didn't know what was going on.
So, it's hard. People, I think the point of this couple-minute discussion is that it doesn't matter how well you protect yourself. If there is darkness and it's there, people say no, but yes. I mean, Melinda, you could even address this. It's there.
Oh, it's there. I mean, but the
it definitely is. It affects you in every single way. I mean, not only mentally and physically, but
right.
It makes you think about really vamping up your spiritual side.
Right.
You think you got it under control and you're where you need to be, and it's like, wait a minute, no, I got more work.
Yeah.
Right. And I still have to watch myself because I still got to protect myself because it could come back. I mean, it can come back. So.
Yeah, they go dormant for a long time sometimes.
Right. So,
yeah, and it affects your health.
Yes, it does. And there's things I still have to do to protect myself from that. I still got to do that every day, a couple times a day. Mm-hmm. So it took a toll. So, hey, I'm slowly coming back out there. So,
awesome.
That's great. Okay. Are there any teams or individuals in the paranormal field that inspire you or have impacted your lives?
Well,
inspire
me. Are we talking about like just everyday investigators or TV?
Yeah, just anything. Anyone that's inspires you.
Let's see. I look at the Bob Christopher for what he does in the paranormal field. Eric Knapp, I look up to him. I look up to, if you want to talk about the TV shows, I look up to Nick, Katrina.
Oh.
But basically Bob Christopher. I think Bob Christopher's my main one I look up to, and Eric Knapp. How about you, Tina?
Probably, I lean more towards like the people like Dave Miller. Dave has been such an important person for people like Melinda and myself, because he has been able to make. And you can pick any app you want. I use Dave Miller stuff. Melinda, you can attest because of what because you, like me, are the real deal, and we need people like that can make products that can validate what we do and what we get. I mean, so people like that are so important for us. Bob Christopher makes toys that can go up, that attract the kids. So I like his products. I mean, my mentors. I have a mentor in California, and I have a mentor here on the East Coast that I go to a lot. You know, would I say a TV show? No. My heroes are not paranormal people. My heroes are like the people that survive, you know, the hard things and make it. So.
Okay. Well, what do you two find the most challenging while you're all doing an investigation?
I think when I work with you on some of your cases, I find that challenging.
Probably the most challenging thing on a case.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That's a good question, Rodney.
Thank you.
Wow.
Boy, you shut us both up on that one.
Wow. I don't know. Right now we've been investigating with a skeptic, and that's interesting to investigate with a skeptic. So.
Oh, Matt. Oh, yeah.
Matt.
Trying to get him to believe in the paranormal. Yeah.
So.
I wouldn't have to say Matt.
What's been the most challenging? I don't even know how to answer that. That's all yours to send up.
That's a hard one to answer, Ronnie. Next question, please.
Next question.
Next question. We're stumped on that one.
Okay.
We're talking amongst us.
Wow. Do you have skepticism when you approach the paranormal supernatural plane?
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do you have skepticism when you approach a paranormal or supernatural plane?
Yeah, my phone is in and out. I'm sorry. Do we have a what?
Skepticism. Are you skeptic yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Always try to debunk first. Always. Always.
And we do that all the time.
We do it all the time. Yeah, always.
Okay.
Like, you always get we still get phone calls, and we always say, we never are going to do a house. We're never going to do a house. We're never going to do a house. And, you always get that phone call, and we end up doing the house.
Especially if there's children.
Especially if there's kids involved. And, they tell you this crazy-ass crazy story, and, and you're looking at them as they're telling you, and you're like, there's absolutely no way. And to, then something happens while you're there, and you're like, okay, maybe they're like for real, and it's not like mom's like in menopause and there's like a 9-year-old girl in the house, and so then you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to debunk this, and so yeah, we do it, all the time.
Oh, and furthermore, you can cuss on here. I say bad words all the time.
Okay.
So don't worry about it. I know last week I had a guy on and he was fuck this, fuck that, and he's like, oh, sorry, man, I didn't realize. I'm like, well, you're already like 3 fucks in, so you're good to go.
I remember that.
Well, have either of you been afraid on a location during an investigation? And if so, can you explain what happened?
Well.
Did I stump him again? Next question.
Oh I guess I'll tell the story. Were the reaps on yet?
No, they're next.
No.
Are they next week?
Bill and Chris is next week, right?
Yeah, they're next week.
They're next week.
Oh my God, I'm gonna tell the story.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we're at the Hinsdale house. Oh my God, and like we stayed there for 2 nights, and oh my God, this is so embarrassing. So everybody decides they're going to like get a couple hours sleep, then we're going to get back up and investigate at nighttime because like it was really getting crazy there. So everybody goes and lays down, and Marcy and I are in the kitchen wide awake. Well, we hear this ungodly noise, and Chris comes out in Bill's cowboy suit with, what did she have in her hand? A stick? A stick in her hand. And she goes to the trash can, and what was in the bottom of the trash can? There was a mouse in the trash can, but it was alive. So she takes the trash can outside and empties the trash can. So like we get rid of the mouse. So now we're all like hyped up, and like that still doesn't explain the noise that we heard, this growl. And I mean, I've never in 30 years heard this guttural growl like I heard that night at that house. So like I'm like on full alert now because like I've heard people talk to me, touch me, whatever. Never heard a guttural growl. So now I got to try to go to bed. So we all decide we're going to go to bed. So we go to bed. The next thing you know, pops up and he's shaking me. I'm like, what do you want? And what did you say to me?
Like there's somebody in the kitchen.
He goes,
there's somebody in the kitchen. Well, what happened was after everybody decided to finally go to bed, I'm the only one that didn't fall back to sleep. So I'm laying on the couch. The next you know how somebody takes a rifle and they like what
they did was they cocked it like it was a shotgun.
Uh-huh.
Sound, like I'm going back to like the third, it was an old shotgun.
Maybe 1940s.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I heard that, and I'm like, okay. I don't see nobody in the kitchen. I'm laying there on the couch looking out in the kitchen. I'm like, okay. So next you know, I hear things being moved on the counter. So I'm laying there, so I look over at Bill and Chris. They're asleep on the couch. I'm like, okay, I can wake them up. Or I looked over towards my left, and there's Tina laying on the couch sound asleep. I said, well, let me try to wake her up because maybe she can see and talk to whoever it is. Just saying, guys, it scared the shit right out of me. I go over, I'm shaking, and I could still hear it moving in the kitchen. So I'm shaking her I'm like, Tina. She's like, what? I'm like, wake up. I says, do me a favor. Look out in the kitchen, see if you see anything, and try to talk to it because there's something out there. So next thing you know, I grab my blanket.
And he's on top of me.
I'm on top of Tina. Now here I am. I've been investigating for 30-some years, guys. So I climb up next to her because I was going to be honest with you, if it was going to eat one of us, I was going to make sure that it was going to decide which one was going to eat first. Because if it was going to grab Tina and all them, that's plenty enough time for me to get out and get in the car and go home.
Wow. Oh, yeah, and he's a charmer, Melinda. He's a charmer. I see.
So,
he's a keeper.
Oh, yeah, he's a keeper, all right.
So I climb up next to her, and I got the blanket up to my mouth. And I'm like, okay. Now, there's activity that goes on inside the house, and there's activity that goes on outside the house.
Which is worse.
Which is worse. I mean, you get it from all over at Hinsdale. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, and the curtain's wide open. I'm like, great. So I'm sitting here. I said, there's going to be something that's going to come in here, stand there and look at me in here, and then there's going to be something outside standing out there looking at me from out there. So, but I tell you what, though, I'm going to be honest with you. This was her second day there.
Yeah, it was second day.
The first
Nothing happened.
No, the first day we got there, it's like, okay, it's a regular haunted house, and we got this.
Minor stuff.
We got this. But the next day, guys, it was completely different. It was as
Marcy sits dead upright because the equipment's going off, and she's like, I'm not effing dealing with this shit. I'm going back to bed.
And she just drops back down.
Drops back down. She's in a dead sleep.
Damn.
I go, oh, get off of me.
And then, honestly, guys, this one sitting next to me had enough nerve to go back to sleep.
I went right back to sleep. It wasn't bothering me. I was like, good night.
Like, it's young, Paul. I went back to sleep.
Exactly.
So Bill finally decides to wake up to use the bathroom after all this is happening. So I wait for him to come out of the bathroom because he had to walk past to
whoever was
in the kitchen because the bathroom's off the kitchen. So I get up, I go out there, I said, hey, Bill, I said, there's something out here. He's like, I know. So, yeah.
Wow.
I'm now the laughing stock of the paranormal. I never told nobody this.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny, but it was probably one of the scarier.
Yes.
I mean, to hear that growl, if you've never ever heard it, it was crazy.
I think out of all the cases that I've done, I think Hinsdale is.
I think that was probably my most haunted house. If anybody ever asked me the most haunted place, it would be Hinsdale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of mistakes have you guys made during an investigation?
What kind of what?
Mistakes.
Oh my God, lots of them. Where should we start? Do you want to start? Like, where should we start? God, juvenile mistakes to the big full-blown mistakes.
Sure.
We've made all. I mean,
I make plenty of mistakes.
Paul makes mistakes all the time now. We've all made mistakes. You make a mistake all the time. This is a learning process, and we are constantly learning in this field.
Every day.
There is absolutely. I get extremely upset when I hear nonsensical bull. SHIT come out of some idiot's mouth that think that they know everything and they say that they're an expert. There is no expert, and I'm not talking about somebody with like 20 degrees and initials after their last name. I'm talking about some dipshit that goes to Gettysburg like once a month and then says they're an expert at Gettysburg. There is no expert, okay?
We learn every day.
We learn every single day. We all make mistakes. I mean, from forgetting to charge our equipment to not packing your equipment to
or bringing the paperwork, your files for the investigation.
Yeah, forgetting to bring the files, to forgetting to bring the contracts, to, I mean, like, just dumb mistakes to big mistakes. I mean, big mistakes.
Like going for interviewing your client before you go into their home and forgetting your interview sheets and
You know, I mean, like, there's some big mistakes. Done it, been there, done that. Keep doing it. Like, haven't learned the lesson. Yeah.
But we learn every day.
As long as you learn, I mean, like, I mean, it's the truth. Like, you make mistakes, and hopefully you learn from the big ones, and you don't make those again. The little ones you can kind of skate around, but the big ones you hope that you learn from them.
I think we had more little mistakes than big mistakes.
Oh yeah.
One of the people in our group, she
it was her first investigation.
It was her first investigation, and we had a camera setting up in front of the bathroom, and she forgot about it, and she forgot to close the door.
Oh, ask Paul about his little camera scene.
Well, Melinda, let me tell you some of my camera scenes.
Oh yeah.
Well, we were at
the Bel Air.
We were at the Bel Air house, and I forgot we set cameras up in the bedrooms. I got up and decided to walk over to the closet. I was just in my underwear. And
no, you were taking your clothes off.
I was taking my clothes off.
And you forgot the camera.
I forgot the camera was there. Here I am, like, walking in front of the cameras.
And he starts taking his clothes off. I'm laying on the bed. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, why? And as he's peeling his clothes off, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, why? I'm like, that camera's rolling.
Marcy comes up. She goes, Paul, cameras.
I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, so.
And then there's White Hill Mansion where I decided to go into, and I forgot, I'm the one that set the cameras up, Melinda, in White Hill. And I go into the bathroom, I'm just starting to take my clothes off to get into her investigation clothes. And it's like, I looked over and I see the little red light on. I'm like, oh. So Chris calls me. She says, nice shot, Paul.
Yeah. I mean, like, just stupid, like, little things. I mean, things that, like, normal people, like, don't have to worry about. Like, just like we know. Like, you know, we should know better at 30 years investigating. At least your girl's excuse was she's new to it. What do you do at 30 years?
Watch it. Or how about like say you're filming a scene and you're holding the camera and something good happens and you realize you forgot that you had the volume shut off on the film camera. That was a nice little big mistake I done. Yeah, we've done plenty of those mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh, we had one. Oh my gosh, the guys. We had a cemetery a few years ago, and I'd been out investigating on it tonight, and then it was, I told myself I'm gonna take me a break. I'm gonna watch the monitors while everybody else investigates, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching the monitor, and I see this fog like thing that was creeping up on one of the investigators. And I told him to look behind him and tell me if he see anything, and he didn't see it. And it kept getting closer and closer, and there was no fog in all the other on the other cameras. And then I looked down at the DVR and I noticed the little red light wasn't on. And I got on the walkie and I'm like, I got a question for you guys that set up the cameras. And they're like, yeah. I said, does the little red light on the DVR supposed to indicate that it's recording? They're like, yeah. I said, well, it's not on. They said, well, push it. I pushed it and it came on. I said, now it's recording. I said, wow. We haven't recorded all night long.
Wow.
They're like, my bad. Bastards. Pissed me off.
Well, I don't feel so bad now.
Well, it's the same thing. Now, let me tell you about the ball sack situation. We investigated this cemetery again, and one of the guys in the group, he's a fucking big cornball anyway. Well, he was in the group. He ain't in it no more, but it was my turn to watch the monitors, and I'm sitting there, and, and I'm watching everybody walk around and, doing their thing. All of a sudden, I see the camera moving from behind. I'm like, hey, something's wrong with the camera. Something's moving it. All of a sudden, I see a ball sack. And then you can hear me. I bet everybody in Tazewell County heard me say, what the fuck? And then Dave said, and I'm like, it's your ball sack. He's like, yeah, they're hanging low tonight, big guy.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So you see what I got to deal with. Y'all professionals. I ain't. We ain't.
Oh, my God.
Just watching one girl piss, looking at another ball sack, we're looking at everybody's cracker of their ass or their titties falling out. My God. We should be called the Paranormal Porno Club.
There could be a line of work for that there, Rodney.
They might be if I sold some of these damn clips.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
Oh.
And then you all want to go out and investigate with us. I don't know if y'all really want to do that or not.
Yeah,
we're not dealing with a professional here.
Oh, wow.
Well, my next question is, what's the best evidence that y'all captured either on audio, video, or still camera?
Oh, we got it. Go ahead.
I was able to. I'm talking about the cat picture.
That's on Instagram.
Yeah, that's on Instagram. We went to an abandoned town in Atzion, New Jersey, one year, and we were just doing a daytime investigation, just taking pictures of abandoned homes and all that. Well, one of the pictures that one of my group members took was a cat. We captured a ghost cat and a lady in an old.
The lady in white. I would call her
the lady in white. Like she wore like a 1800 type of dress. That was
late 1800s.
Late 1800s. I got that on my Instagram page, my freelance Instagram page. I think that was the best pictures I've ever taken out of my whole 30 years. You could actually see the cat sitting there. You could actually see the steps behind it, and the lady standing next to the cat. You could see right through her. That was one incredible catch I got. What's you?
Probably the captain's house. I was walking through an old Victorian home down in the Jersey Shore, in a Jersey Shore town that Paul and I had. I think we're the only two team people that have ever had access to the captain's house. It was our second or third time there.
Or third time.
I love standing in front of mirrors. Everybody knows that's my thing. I'll stand in front of the mirror and snap a picture. And I wasn't doing any crazy mirror work because I don't believe in that. But I like to stand in front of the mirror and take one picture. And I was in the mirrors in the hall. Actually, the pictures, I think, on Instagram somewhere on Paul's freelance page. I was standing in front of the mirror. I snapped the picture. The mirror was in the hallway. And what happened was in the room behind me, there was an old rocker. And there is a female dressed in old Victorian dress sitting in the rocking chair. So, we were the only two people in the house. So that was probably, and I mean, full apparition, sitting in the chair, straight up, you see, I mean, it's an incredible picture. Like, it's just incredible. So that's probably my best picture.
Okay.
I love mirrors because I like to do a lot of scrying, and things are always.
I like doing that. I like doing that, but they follow, everything friggin' follows me home. Yes. So, like, I try not to, like, do too much of it. So what I do is, like, I mean, you know what can happen with that. So, like, I always make sure I'll walk through the house, look for one mirror that, like, I'm like, I think I can get one, like, I think this is the mirror. I'll stand there, do one picture, and that mirror, it happened to be the mirror that day. It's not that picture. I was like, holy crap. Now, see, you do that. I'm scared to do that because everything follows me home. So
that it does.
You know, like, do you find that you have a lot of, and I tell them you cannot come home with me, and they'll still come home.
Oh yes. I've had stuff in my house, and I've had to cleanse my house and push it out.
Oh yeah, we've had. Well, I mean, you can imagine. We have had to have the house cleansed, blessed, and sealed. So, yeah, multiple times with Paul's issue. So, our house should be pretty clean. So, like, now we're getting ready to go start investigating again in the next couple weeks, and it's like, here we go. Like, you know, what's going to come home with me? Like, you know, is it going to be okay? Is he going to be okay? You start to be, I'm like scared because I don't want to bring anything home that would attach itself to him. I'm scared for him.
Right.
But, yeah, I like mirrors. I don't particularly like them in my house, but I like to take the opportunity to look at them when I'm somewhere else. So it's neat when you meet someone that actually does that. The only other person I know that I've heard that does that is Dana Newkirk. So I'll have to talk to you about that more when I see you.
Okay.
Because
we investigated a theater in Clintwood, and it was near the end, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And Rodney he had a bunch of people standing around him, and everybody was asking questions, and I was just kind of sitting on a table, and I had this necklace around my neck, and something jerked it off my neck. I mean, it hit the floor, because Rodney thought it was a piece of equipment or something that fell, and he was kind of freaking out, and then it was my necklace. Well, anyway, when we left, we were, it was me, Rodney, and Christy, and we were driving. And how far from the theater do you think when it hit the window?
We're probably good 10, 15 miles, maybe.
Yeah. All of a sudden, something. It was like a man, open-handed, just slapped the back window of Rodney's van. I mean, hard. And then it was probably in about another 2 or 3 minutes. We were taking a turn where the guardrail was, and there I don't think it was human. I mean I saw it pretty good. There was a figure that looked like a man, and he was just leaning, and where he was, there's no way he was waiting for somebody to pick him up. There's no way, because that was a turn that would have been dangerous. But his eyes were so black.
Once it's like 2:00 in the morning, and it was right in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, and I think that's what that was. I think that whatever jerked my necklace off was trying to follow us that night.
Wow. Well, I've seen those black. I've seen those black eyes, so I don't like them.
Yeah, he was looking right dead at me, because I was on the front passenger side. And we were all just like, did you see that? Did you see that? And And Chrissy, she was in the back. She was like, okay, I'm coming up there to sit on somebody's lap.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't like, and I don't like when you give them their boundaries and they just ignore you and like they just intrude. That's it, and that's what I'm not looking forward to. But you know, I got to get over that fear. I got to get over that fear because otherwise I'll never go back out. It's two different things. People don't understand. It's one thing to go out and do the law enforcement part of it and then go out and do the paranormal part. And like, I'm scared. I want to protect the person that you love.
Well, see, I think fear is good because the moment you don't have fear, that's when you get careless.
You're right. Yep.
It feeds off of fear.
Yeah.
That's what's keeping me safe, actually.
It's just like, okay, you know. So that's the next chapter for us is like getting back into the swing of stuff and, you know,
a little bit slower.
We're taking it slower and, you know, hopefully God is gracious to us and
staying away from the dark for a while.
Staying away from everything that's dark for a little bit to get our bearings and, you know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, you get it. Like, some people don't understand. So gotta stay away from the dark.
I tell a lot of my friends all the time. They play with the Ouija boards and stuff, and I'm like, you got to be really on point with that stuff. That's not a game. I mean, I don't use. I mean, I have my gifts, and I know better than to do it because I mean, you bring anything through that portal.
Or if you use them, close the friggin' thing when you're done. Like, how many people play with them and then don't know how to close, like, use it and then don't close it?
Well, a lot of times it's because it's nothing's happening and they don't realize that something is happening and they just say, oh, well, this is this. And they do leave it open and then that's when all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, it's like, I hate them. And then when they made the pink one a couple years ago for the little kids, I was like, are they crazy?
I know.
I was like, how irresponsible, like, you know, but it's something to sell, so what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey, the ladies are definitely.
Okay, so my next question is, do you prefer to investigate residential, historical, or commercial property?
Oh, that depends. Right now, I like investigating historical places, and I've done a lot of private residences and all that, but right now I'm really enjoying the historical places right now.
Okay. Well, where do y'all think the future of the paranormal and the supernatural world is heading right now?
Well, the drama needs to stop.
That's the number one thing.
And if the drama could stop and everybody could just like support everybody, instead of trying to see who can climb to the top the fastest, then we would probably be able to make big steps and like do some great research and stuff in our field, in each field. The mediums could do their thing and the investigators could do their things, and but you know,
too much drama.
There's so much like bicker, and I don't mean just drama. I mean like bickering amongst not just teens, amongst just everything. Like it's just crazy. It is crazy. It's just crazy. everybody needs to just take a pill and relax. For real. No, for real. I mean, just work together as one friggin' team and get over whatever. Just get over whatever your friggin' issues are. Because life's too short. And we've come a long way in the 30 years I've been doing this. So, like, imagine, like, in another 30 years. Like, before, you didn't talk about it.
Yeah, because people thought, when I started back in the 70s, you never talked about the paranormal, because when you did, they thought you were nuts.
Right.
They thought you were nuts. But now it's so open now.
Everybody talks about it. You have all kinds of people from all different walks of life talking about it. Like it's mainstream now. So if it's mainstream now, even in another 10 years, imagine what it would be like in another 10 years if we could get our shit together and stop the fighting and like really like get our acts together and work together and see where we could go with like getting like a spreadsheet together and actually like getting some stuff documented.
The scientific world would welcome us.
They would welcome us more than
what they do now.
Yeah.
They think we're a joke right now.
Some of them do.
Yeah.
There are some scientific teams out there.
Yeah.
There's a couple scientific teams out there that are, and I don't mean scientific like saying we're not scientific. I mean, there are some teams out there that have people from the government on them, and that are going to pay attention and say, yeah, you know, we can do this and this and this and this. So I would like to see that. I would like to see more of that. Will it happen? Who knows? I mean, I don't know if it's any different down there than it is up here. The Northeast is very competitive. I don't know what it's like in the South. So, I mean,
it's competitive here. Don't worry,
it's competitive there.
Yeah, people, that's just like when we post anything or I post anything about our cases, you know, and I just leave it up to, you know, the people that's looking at everything, you know, make their own opinions and conclusions. But, oh, my gosh, when I first started Black Diamond, I mean, there was not one paranormal group within 150 miles of me. And within the first year, there was like 20 paranormal groups. And now we're down to, I think, 3 that's around me now. But they were all competitive, all talking shit about me, talking shit about our evidence. And I'm like, dude, y'all make up your own mind. You know, I'm not trying to fight nobody. I'm not trying to convince nobody. This is what we got.
Right.
And you know, right. I'm not faking nothing. I'm not trying to make anything up. I'm not trying to get a TV show. I'm not trying to do this or that or this. But yeah, everybody's competitive.
That's so stupid.
And it shouldn't be. And I agree with you.
It's just dumb.
It is dumb.
It is. I don't even have time for that.
And another thing is, at least to my next question, what is your opinion about people claiming to have psychic abilities? Because, you know, everybody...
You don't even... I'm the wrong one to even ask that. I am such the wrong one to even ask that. So you don't even want my... You do not want my opinion.
Let me just say this. When I first started investigating years ago, and I've been doing this for 36 years, a good psychic medium, a good psychic detective was hard to find, hard to come by. And I spent many years looking for a real one.
There's not even a lot of psychic detectives.
And there's really not a lot of psychic detectives out there.
I think there's.
But there is real, and trust me, I'm friends with a lot of real mediums and psychics, and they know who they are when I'm friends with them. But I couldn't find a real one, and it's funny. I don't know if you guys heard of LinkedIn. I set up an account with LinkedIn. All of a sudden, all these psychics came out of the woodworks. There was thousands of them, thousands of them. And I looked at Tina, I'm like, where in the hell did they all come from? and I've run into some that were like quacks, to put it nicely, but I've also run into ones that are real. So, but I'm very. That's a touchy subject in this household.
Well, for me personally, because I am the real deal, and when you have these people that are claiming all this stuff, it makes it hard for people like me and me and Tina that are real, because it's like we have to prove ourselves. And I hate having to do that.
And you should, and you know what, Melinda, you shouldn't have to.
I agree.
You shouldn't have to. I know you're the real deal, but hey, I just don't understand how you can just go and take this course, a 15-minute course, and all of a sudden you're a psychic. I thought this was something that you were born with.
It is.
Bam.
It is. Or if you have like a trauma in your life, like a near death or something, I do believe in that.
There you go, my friend. Bam.
Yes. Well said.
Well said. I'm not even going to add to that. You said it all right.
Melinda
there.
said it all.
Yep.
Well, this leads me into another question that.
Oh man, really?
Yeah. Well, I kind of go back to the demon thing, but the reason why is, since y'all talking about, what about people that take like classes to be a demonologist? What do y'all think about taking classes to be a certified paranormal investigator or demonologist and so forth? What's y'all's opinion about that?
Next question, please. Next question, please.
We choose not. We're going to choose to not answer that question. We do have. I will answer that question for us. Actually,
be the brave.
We do have a couple friends who are certified demonologists, and there's like a list of 100 demonologists, and they are on, if that, and they are on that list. So anybody can go take a course and get a certificate and say that they're a demonologist.
But the thing is the Catholic Church.
But did the Catholic Church really call them to come out and do right? We have a couple of friends, and there is a list, and if they're not on that list, then no. Like I could go print out a certificate saying I'm a demonologist.
Because you also have to.
I will tell you this. I will make this statement publicly, since I'm sure people are listening. Paul's issue that he had and his exorcism was performed by Keith. Keith Johnson helped Paul and his wife Sandra and our clergy here in New Jersey, Chris.
I went through.
It is who helped Paul. That is who helped Paul. Nobody else helped Paul, with the exception of Marcia and Marty. That is who helped Paul get rid of his issue. So that is to clarify whatever rumor is going around. That is the truth, because I do know, I did hear what was going around. So I am clarifying that. So, yeah. Anybody can print out a certificate, but that's who helped Paul. Hope that answers anybody that's listening's question.
Okay.
Because you have to shadow with people that are demonologists.
Right.
I mean, you just you have to actually do the work.
Right.
Well, the reason why I asked the question, it's due to someone I know that got a certificate, and granted, a lot of people were, congratulating them, and I haven't responded to it because I feel like that's supposed to be some type of calling, and that you have to go through the church and a whole different. I mean, to me, it feels like you just can't get a certificate, take a damn test, and have it sent to you and say you're a demonologist. I feel like there should be a whole lot more to it than that.
Our friend Stephen, who lives in the New England states, he told us, actually, Paul and him are more friendly than him and I. He told Paul that there is a list with the Catholic Church, and that there is less than 100 names on that list. Less than a handful.
That the Catholic Church actually calls and says, we need you to fly here because there is a demonic case that we need you to work on. There is very few, and I was privileged enough to hear some of those recordings of actual demonic possessions. They're not beautiful to listen to, but there was only a handful that the Catholic Church actually calls. So, yeah, anybody can go and say, hey, I'm a demonologist. I want to go get this paper. But my question to them is, do the Catholic Church reach out to you and say, hey, we need you to fly to France? Or, hey, we need you to go to Canada. Hey, we need you to go to California.
No, I doubt it.
Can you go and help this case? I doubt it.
Okay.
Well, I'm done preaching.
Thank you.
Okay. Amen, brother. Amen. And that's weird to hear me say that. Everybody's going, what? He said what?
He said what?
Amen.
That's
We're
it.
going to have to come down there and work together.
Heck yeah, y'all come down here. We have a good time.
That would be awesome.
Oh, my God.
Y'all could teach me how to get naked in front of the camera, and I could teach you how not to even push the record button.
Yeah, there you go. But at least we'll have it on film at least.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to record it.
I know.
That's it.
Oh, my God. Forget it.
Anyway, Rodney. Anyway.
Okay. Have either one of you all had like a astro projected or known anyone who can do that type of flight? I guess that's the right way of saying it.
Tina, you want to answer that? That's out of my realm, but yeah.
No, the only thing I've ever flown is my broom. So.
There we go.
I figured I'd beat him to the punch, so no, nope. Nope, sorry, can't help you there.
Okay. Well, have either one of y'all had any experiences other than the paranormal, such as, anything crypto or any UFO encounters?
Oh, now you're talking. Oh, now I can tell my story. Oh, I had fun in New Hampshire. Paul was filming a TV episode or an episode for a show he was working on like a couple of years ago, and they were at Stonehenge in New Hampshire, and so we went back the next day and we took our daughter as a family. So, it was eerily quiet. Nothing. I mean, no birds, nothing. And I'm like, this is really odd. And Madison and I are walking, and I'm like, something's like really weird here. And Madison says to me, Mom, do you hear that? And I was like, what? She's like, there's something on the side of us. And I was like, I think something's over there. And I'm calling Paul, and I'm like, Paul, something's watching us. And he's like, yeah. And I'm probably a bear. He's like, it's probably a bear. I'm like, it's not a bear. And so we keep walking, and it sounded like something was on the side of us following us. up this hill. So what happens is we were walking, and it just kept getting quiet. Like, it was like just still. Like, I've never heard something so quiet. And I'm like, Paul, and something flew in front of like me. And I said, Paul, somebody just threw a rock. And it was not a big rock. It was like probably 2 by 2. Was it 2 by 2?
Yeah, it's that.
And I said, Paul, it's a rock. And it missed Matt and I. I mean, if they wanted to hit us, they could have hit us. It was like that aimed like at us.
What they think was a juvenile.
So we keep walking, and Paul's like, just keep walking. So we made it to where the site was, where the cave system is up there, and you could tell something was watching us. And I was like, Matt was like, Mom, I really want to leave. So we started walking to where it opens up, and you can see the lines above, like what would be the ley lines. They're like the electric lines, but it was probably the grid where the ley lines were, and it opened up where you could like drive 2 big trucks down it. And if you were taking an aerial, it would probably be like the spoke to a wheel, an old wagon wheel. And all of a sudden you hear a thud, and there's this huge rock, and it missed Madison and I probably by what? Not much, by a couple feet. And Paul, and he goes, that's it, we're leaving. So they think it was a juvenile.
But what happened was, I got talking to the lady. It was funny because the night before, when we were filming we were doing a public event, and we were filming for TV. And I was talking to the owner that ran Stonehenge, the gift shop, and she was telling the group that I was with at the time that they had spotted Sasquatch or Bigfoot, whatever you were calling, up in that area 2 weeks prior before we got there. So he was spotted in the area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, have y'all had any UFO? Have y'all had any UFO encounters?
Oh, no.
No. Not yet, Rodney.
No, I want to have one so bad.
But I am working on. I am putting a thing together to do a New Jersey Bigfoot type of investigation a couple months down the road from now. For the strange and mysterious. But now, do you guys have Bigfoot sightings down there?
Well, yeah, we've had a few. Matter of fact, right here where I live, there for about 3 years in a row during springtime and in the fall. I keep my windows open, and about 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning, I could hear this yelling. And then all of a sudden, the dogs all through the valley would start going batshit crazy. And by the time I get my recorder to go outside to try to record it, it would stop. It's like the summit knew I was outside. But it was so far away. I mean, it sounded like it was 2-3 miles away. But it still somehow knew. And from what I understand, where I've had Bigfoot researchers on the show, they told me when you hear one, you might be hearing that one, but there's probably 4, 5, 6 other ones watching.
Did you hear knocking or just the calling?
Just the calling.
Oh, wow.
And it would freak you out. You'd be sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden you hear that boom shit, and everybody's like, "Oh God, oh God."
Oh no, I go outside and knock.
Oh, I do too. I go outside. Well, I went outside as soon as I step outside, they stop. What? And then you hear coyotes go batshit crazy right after.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you know what, Rodney? I don't think everybody's meant to see Bigfoot.
No.
I don't think anybody can just see him. I think you have to be chosen to see him. I mean, this is what I believe. I think you got to be chosen to see one of them. I would love to see one, but
Well, I actually, when I was in my 20s, I used to go over Cove Creek, and I'd go hunting. And now I understand why a lot of hunters, they're out in the woods that see them, don't shoot them. Because I was walking down a path, and then I ran into two of them. It looked like a mama and a young one. And, I mean, we wouldn't probably, the way we walked into each other is like 20 feet apart on the trail. And she seen me, I seen her, and I could see in her eyes, sadness. It was, and I froze. And I finally, got the strength to take a step backwards, and she took a step backwards. And, she's holding on to her youngin', and I took two more steps backwards. She took two more, and then I couldn't see her no more. But I could hear her go down the hill, and I just stayed there, froze. And a lot of hunters that I've have seen on documentaries and so forth where they've talked about, I couldn't shoot it because it looked too human. And you could feel that presence of that sadness or that, oh shit, please don't kill me look.
Now I have a question for you. Did she have an odor? They say they stink. Did you smell?
No, I didn't. There's a lot of that being claimed, but I didn't smell no odor.
Wow.
That's
but
funny. I didn't smell anything that day either.
No. It was just like eerily. It was just quiet. Like.
It is eerie. I mean, once you've seen one that close, I mean, even when I talk about it, I kind of get that nervous. What are you going to do? And she's like, what are you going to do? Look, and it's just that contact, that emotion, that you don't supposed to be there, but you're there,
right?
And I know what I'm seeing, and it's very powerful. So I know why a lot of hunters don't kill them. They just can't pull the trigger. I couldn't. I ain't no way I could have shot her.
That's crazy.
Well, we're running a little low on time, so I got a question. Are you all planning on coming down here at Fanifest and speaking? Because we sure love to have y'all back down.
Here we go down. We'll come down. Okay.
That'd be great. Because I know a lot of people, they love talking to you all and learned a lot from you all. And a lot of people, excited about us doing it again this year. And hopefully we can keep making this grow. And, we appreciate all the help that we're getting from you all and all the people that's coming back. I mean, it's just awesome. I'm really surprised how everybody made me get on the ball to get it going. Get it going again.
I'll come down on one Hey, Rodney, I'll come down on one condition.
Uh-huh.
Is Melinda going to be there?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Then I'll be there.
Wow.
Ooh, awesome.
Okay. Now, do I need to have her dressed a certain way?
Wow.
Tina's like, I'm about to rip somebody's ass off.
Man, it's a good thing I like her. Yeesh.
It's like Valentine's Day and already going. They're like,
And this is Melinda. Hey, Melinda.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is why we stayed home and had sandwiches for dinner.
He was so excited. He's like, I couldn't wait to talk to Melinda.
I know.
Well, one more question. What are y'all's plans for 2019? Do y'all have any projects or anything y'all working on that y'all can discuss? And also, if anybody, wants to get in contact with y'all, if they want to talk to you about any concerns or thoughts or questions they have, how can they get a hold of you?
Projects real quick is we're getting back into investigating. They can find us under Paul Dixon, The Strange and Mysterious. Nothing to the level that we were doing before, because of course we touched on one of the reasons why we stopped investigating for a while. We can find Paul and I both. We each have our own Facebook page and Instagram pages. My Instagram page is the South Jersey Medium. Paul and I have the South Jersey Medium Facebook page, and I have a Facebook page that my friends can find me at. They have my name. They can send me a friend request. Paul has his Facebook page.
Freelance Investigator and Strange and Mysterious on Instagram. I got my personal account on Instagram. They could send me a friend request through my private page on Facebook. And like Tina just said, they can send questions through the Strange and Mysterious Facebook page or my freelance Facebook page. And also they can reach out to Marcy too. She's got her public page too, as well. She's our researcher, and you can reach out to her as well.
She has a Facebook page and an Instagram page.
Okay. Well, but hey, I appreciate y'all taking the time to come on and sharing y'all's experiences and knowledge, and it's such an honor to have y'all on and being friends and got to meet you all in November and y'all get to come back down and hang out with us again. And, I mean, it's just such a pleasure.
We'll see you in November.
Okay. You got anything you want to say?
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you all. Thank you all for coming on in. And you're very welcome. The door's always open.
Yeah, you guys
Thank
gotta come
you very
back.
much. See you, Melinda.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Y'all be careful. Have a good night. Great weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Well, I want to thank Tina Williamson and Paul Dixon for coming on the show. Like I said, we have nothing but respect for them. Like I said, doors always open. They're always welcome to come back. For next Thursday night, February 21st, our special guests will be our friends and paranormal investigators, Bill and Chris Reeve. So everyone, have a great weekend. Be safe. Good night. Nothing but love for you all. Your turn.
Good night, everyone.
Oh, it gives me chills, man. It gives me chills. That's it for us tonight. I want to thank everyone that took the time to listen in. I'd like to give a big shout out to the Vibe Radio Network and to Ryan for putting up with us. Also to all the first responders and our men and women in the armed services. Thank you for your service and the sacrifices that you and your families make every day to keep our great nation safe. Tune in next week to another exciting show starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everyone can go to our Facebook page Within the Chaos, and don't forget to like our page to see upcoming guests along with past shows, postings, or you can also go to my website at www.blackdiamondps.org or blogtalkradio.com/Vibe Radio Network. Also, we have a YouTube channel, so go to YouTube, look up Within the Chaos for past shows. Thanks again. Until next week, everyone have a safe weekend and have a good night. And love you all. Be careful out there.
I'm sorry. But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Old moon, yeah. That's Hugo, tickling the ivories. He just saved by bundling home and auto with Progressive. Gonna finally buy a ring for that gal of yours, Hugo? Send her my condolences. Hi-oh! This next one's for you two. There's a burglar in my heart. Thank you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
This weekend,
are you ready?
critics are calling What Men Want ridiculously funny.
This is a phenomenon.
Nice. Taraji P. Henson.
Oh,
Tracy Morgan.
Bring it on in here, player.
What Men Want. Rated R. Now playing.